Hi boys and girls, it's time for science story time. And today I have a book for you called Scarlet Bean. And this book is by Karen Wallace, and John Berkeley is the illustrator. He did beautiful pictures for this book. Look at all these vegetables. Yummy, yummy. Scarlet Bean. When Mrs. Bean first saw her daughter's face, it was as red as a beet, and the ends of her fingers were green. "We shall call her Scarlet," declared Mrs. Bean. "She will grow up to do something wonderful." Ooh, I wonder what that will be. Mr. and Mrs. Bean lived in a house that wasn't much bigger than a garden shed. It was cozy and made of wood, but it was very small. So they spent as much time as they could outside working in their garden. Scarlette lay in her stroller and napped and listened to the plants grow. And when she slept, she dreamed of doing something wonderful. On her 5th birthday, Grandfather Beane gave her a garden. Her mother gave her a set of tools with wooden handles, and her father built a fence to keep the rabbits out. And he made a white gate that Scarlette could open and close all by herself. Scarlette loved her new garden. She pulled up the weeds. She dug in the soil until it was as crumbly as chocolate cake. She planted a row of carrots, a row of onions, and a row of parsley. That night, while she slept in bed, the ends of her fingers sparkled and tingled. The next morning, Scarlette ran out through her garden. Oh, look, she's got giant vegetables. Her carrots were as huge as tree trunks. Her onions were as big as hot air balloons. And her parsley was as thick as a jungle. Let's see what happens next. Everyone in the village came to help with the harvest. They used bulldozers to dig up the carrots. They used forklifts to move the onions. And they cut the parsley with chainsaws. She had gigantic vegetables. Mrs. Bean's kitchen was too small for so many vegetables, so she made the soup in a concrete mixture. The house was too small for so many people, so Mr. Bean served the soup in the garden. Everyone said it was the best soup ever. And when it started to rain, they got under the table and ate second helpings. That night, Scarlette dreamed of doing something wonderful. She crept out of bed. In one hand, she held a small shovel, and in the other hand, she had lots and lots of seeds. High above the window, the moon shone like a pearl. Scarlette dug a hole, and all the seeds went into the bottom. As she covered them up with the earth, the ends of her fingers flashed like green stars. Ooh, she has magic fingers. What's going to happen? The next morning, the sun rose like a huge golden coin. In the middle of the meadow where Scarlette had planted the seeds, there was a castle made of vegetables. It had turnip turrets and a drawbridge held up by corn cobs. A cucumber tower stood at each corner. She grew a new house to live in, a castle. Mr. Bean couldn't believe his eyes. It was the house of his dreams. Mrs. Bean kissed her daughter's face. "I knew you'd do something wonderful," she whispered. Scarlet Bean was so happy she turned red as a beet, and the ends of her fingers sparkled like fireworks. The end. There's those vegetables again. Now I know why they're on the red papers, because that's what Scarlet's castle was made out of. Now, of course, that was a magic book. You can't really plant seeds and get a house. But you can get lots of good food to eat if you plant seeds, and you can get lots of pretty flowers to look at. Do you know how seeds work? Do you know in each seed there's a little tiny bit of food, a little nutrient? That's right, if you eat a seed like a peanut or a bean, you get energy from it because that's food in the plant. But instead of eating the seed, if you put it in the ground, the plant uses that energy at the beginning when it starts to grow. And after that, it gets nutrients and water through its roots from the soil. And when it pokes through the ground, it starts to make food from the sun as well. So we're going to pretend you are a seed, and you're going to grow very slowly. And I'm going to use my watering can to put water on you so you can grow. And I'm going to pretend my flashlight is the sun so you can grow. So what I want you to do is crouch down really small so you look like a tiny little seed. Okay, small, 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 low, low, low to the ground. Okay, are you ready, tiny seed? I'm going to water you, and you can start to grow a little bit. Here's some water, little seeds. Start to grow, start to stand up a little bit. Okay, now you're through the soil, so now you need some sun. Come on, grow a little bit more seeds, grow big and tall. Here's some more water and some more sun. Water and sun. And now, see, you're going to take your arms and spread them way out because now you're a gigantic plant. Because you got nutrients from the soil, you got water to drink, and you got the sun to help you make some more food. So take a big bow. Thank you for pretending you were a plant for me. And clap for yourself. Yay! Now, do you know how those nutrients get inside the plant from the soil? The plant has roots, and it takes it in from the soil where it's buried, and then it goes all the way through the plant. And the plant has something called veins. They don't have blood in them like people veins, but that's how the plant has water and nutrients. And I'm going to show you what you can do to see the veins in a plant. So I have a leaf. I got this from my yard. You can use any leaf in your yard, but it's better to pick a leaf you find on the ground and not to take one off of a tree, because a tree needs that to make food. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a leaf rubbing so you can see the veins really well. Now you're going to do this flat on the table, so you don't need to tape your stuff, but I'm going to hold it up so you can see. So I'm going to use some tape so it doesn't fall. So I'm going to actually tape my leaf, to my cardboard, just like that. And then I'm going to take paper, one piece of paper I only need. I'm going to tape a piece of paper right over the leaf. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to tape it if you're doing it, because you'll be doing it flat on the table and you can just hold it with your hand. And okay, and then I need a crayon. I need a crayon that doesn't have paper on it because I'm going to use the side of the crayon to draw with. So I'm going to take the crayon and put it flat against the paper, and I'm going to rub it all over, the paper really hard. And when I'm done, you're going to be able to see the outline of where the leaf is and where its veins are. Okay, so that's good. And then do you see my picture? That's where the leaf is. And then do you see all these little lines? All those little lines are the veins of the leaf. And that's what the plant uses to get the water and the nutrients all through the whole leaf so it can make the rest of the food from the sunlight. So we learned a lot about plants today and seeds and how they and what they need to grow. Nutrients from the soil, and water from rain or watering can or hose, and sunlight from the sky. I hope you had a good time today, and I will see you at the next science story time. Bye, boys and girls.